Alright, here's the reason why I think Cars 2 is bad. If you've been part of the Pixar community for a while now, you know that Cars 2 is considered to be one of the most infamous movie sequels of all time, and is to be considered by a lot of people to be Pixar's biggest misfire. Now, I can't necessarily go that far, but I can also admit that, yeah, Cars 2's kind of bad, and it was a massive degrade in quality from the 11 other films that preceded it. But here's where I fall into this. I don't hate it, and I don't think it's as bad as people put it out to be. Now, it's still not good, but in my opinion, Cars 2 is somewhat watchable. I actually like the concept of a spy movie, and if this wasn't a Cars sequel, this could have had potential to be great. Okay, maybe not that great, at least not as great as some of Pixar's other greats, but it still could have worked better than it turned out to be. But do you know what's less forgiving? How much it breaks the rules of its own universe. What do I mean by that? Well, first Cars movie, there were certain rules on how the universe functioned. They were silly rules, but they made sense. Whenever they did break the rules, it didn't really matter because it wasn't that often. But Cars 2 does so much random crap that it makes you wonder, how in the world does any of this make any sense? I'm talking about stuff like the Pope Mobile, which implies Catholicism is a thing in this universe. And Lord knows I'm not the first person to point this out. It's a 2-second gag. Your average layman's not going to put that much thought into it. But for those of us who do put more than half of a second of thought into it, it raises questions like, how does religion work in this universe? And then it just becomes a rabbit hole of questions that break any sense of realism. Here are some more examples. There is a scene where Mater writes a handwritten letter to McQueen. How do cars write letters? With their tongues? Can their tires hold pens? During a scene in the big race, there's a part where the announcer says they're going around a hairpin. Like, a hairpin? For, like, human hair? And there's a part in the movie where Mater disguises himself as a taco truck. Wait a minute. Taco truck? Tacos? Real food exists in this universe now, too? And there's a part where Mater eats wasabi. Wait a minute. Wasabi? They can eat wasabi? Why does real food exist in this movie? In the first movie, they only drink oil. Why is there wasabi now? Where does the food go after they eat it? Didn't anyone on the movie crew not think this was like frickin' stupid? And Mater eats the wasabi thinking it's pistachio ice cream. Now ice cream exists in this universe now too? How? Ice cream requires dairy. But all the cows in this universe are tractors, so where does the cream come from? Do they milk the tractors? And why does Finn need a respirator to help him breathe underwater? He is a car. He doesn't have lungs. Wait a minute. Do they? Do they have internal organs? They have those giant meaty tongues, so... Oh god, no, I hate this. And whenever the spies are on the train, there's a part where Finn says, Miss Shiftwell is also designing iPhone apps. iPhone apps? iPhones exist now too. How in the world is a car gonna use an iPhone? Why do they keep forgetting that the cars don't have hands? Also, airplanes are alive and are used to carry conventional-sized cars to other countries. What about bigger vehicles like Mac? What if Mac wanted to go with them to London? He would not have fit on that plane. Do they have bigger airplanes made just for trucks? What about trains? They exist in this universe too. What if a train in America wanted to go to London? Haha, well, you can't because you're stuck on tracks. Loser. In this universe, cars can have many professions. They can be what they physically are, like a race car or a cop, but they can also be lawyers, judges, spies, chefs, and waitresses, etc. But does this only extend to the cars, though? Like, could that 747 jet be a lawyer if it wanted to, or is it stuck as an air transporter because it was born a plane? How does it all work? There's a part in the restaurant where Mater asks, what happened to the dinosaurs now? So dinosaurs existed in this universe now too? Like, animal-like dinosaurs? What? They use bathrooms. Cars use bathrooms. And that is just a bathroom from the human world with sinks. How does a car use a sink? Why do they use a sink? To wash its tires? The sinks aren't even designed for that. How is McQueen supposed to pop the cork off of that wine bottle? That is just a wine bottle from the human world. In this scene where McQueen and Mater are talking, if you look very closely, there is a sidewalk with a phone booth. How in the world is a car going to use a sidewalk? More importantly, how is a car going to use a phone booth? What? Didn't anyone not think this was like stupid or something? Oh, no. This is the worst one. This is the absolute worst one. This is the one that inspired me to want to make this video. There is a scene where the bad guys get thrust into a pub in London and they show glasses of beer on a table. Those are glasses made for humans. How are the cars supposed to drink out of it? There are no straws. The cars don't have hands. They can't pick it up. The rules of the universe in this movie don't make any sense, and they directly contradict the rules of the universe from the first movie. They don't eat human food in Cars 1. They only drink oil because it makes sense, etc., etc. Cars 2 is just the human world with no thought put into the presentation of the rules of the universe. London is just regular old human London from the human world. Except the clock tower is called Big Bentley. Get it? It's a car pun with half a second of thought put into it. Porta Corsa is just Portofino in Italy, except the rocks look like cars. Wow, I'm sure that took so much thought. Tokyo is just Tokyo, except it's spelled Tokyo. I hate this movie so much. There is one element, one singular element in Cars 2 that is actually clever in terms of how the universe works. And it is so minuscule that it shouldn't even be mentioned in this video, but it's that cars use little trailers to carry their luggage. That's cute, it makes sense because they're cars, but that is it. That is it. You can criticize Cars 2 for all the spy stuff all you want, but this, the way they break the rules in the universe in this movie, will always be the biggest problem I have with Cars 2. The end.